Hello everyone, my name is MrZwanzig. I'll be playing some Chain of Memories for you today. So here we go. Normal leaderboard timing for this goes by SDA, so it's past the opening cutscene, but for marathon purposes I thought it'd be easier if I just started here. So we'll time from here. I'll give you a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And so welcome everybody. This is Chain of Memories. You know what can you say about Kingdom Hearts? It's a pretty good series, right? I heard they just came out with a new game the other day. But screw that. We're gonna play a 14-year-old GBA game. No fancy pants stuff for us here. This game's pretty fun too. I guess I should explain a bit about the basic mechanics before we get started, because there's going to be a lot of stuff to pay attention to. This run's pretty, like, I have to pay a lot of attention. There's a lot of variables that I have to keep in mind constantly. So with doing commentary, it's going to be a bit of a juggling act, but I think we'll be fine. But so, the basic conceit of this game is that it's all card-based, right? So, you've got your basic, standard action RPG combat. You can walk around and jump and dodge roll, and that's about all you can really do without playing cards. Any action you want to take, like attacks, healing, whatever you name it, you got to play cards. And they've all got numbers on them. The basic way it works is only one action can be in play at any time, be it you or the enemies. And generally whoever plays a card will start their attack animation or whatever it is they're doing. But then if the other player plays a higher card, then it'll break the card that was in play. That's called a card break. And then their action will happen, and if you get card broken, you get stunned for a moment. So first off, we gotta do a little tutorial here. This is just gonna teach me basic movement. It's not even talking yet about the card breaks and stuff. It'll introduce that in a later tutorial that will actually delay a fair bit for reasons. But right now, it's just teaching me basically how to use cards. I can jump, I can dodge roll. That's all good. Can you summon Exodia? Sadly, no, but I welcome any and all Yu-Gi-Oh! Jokes. Sure, get that out of your system. Here it's gonna teach me about card reloading. So basically, I have a fixed deck, and when it runs out, I have to do this little reload thing in order to get my cards back. And I can cycle through my cards like this. They'll let me use whatever I want. There's a different category of cards. They're called enemy cards. We'll get into that a little bit later. That's it for this tutorial. So now what you're going to see is I'm going to open this door. A lot of the speedrun is about opening these doors with these cards called map cards. They're kind of a big deal. And now we're going to see the reason why I had a save file pre-set up before we started, because I'm probably gonna have to reset for it. So right after this, I'm gonna hit this barrel, and it's not gonna give me a Blizzard card. Nope. So if I got lucky, I would have had a Blizzard card from that. And the Blizzard card is really kind of important to start the run off on the right foot. And it's like a 10% chance of getting it, and usually you won't. And then, if you were doing a PB attempt, that's where you reset. So here I'm not gonna save actually, but I'm just gonna reset and load my file that actually has the Blizzard. You'll see why that's important to have in a moment. So that makes this game for PB attempts, it makes it pretty annoying to run, but for marathon runs, nobody's gonna complain if I do that. In fact, they'd probably complain a lot more if I didn't. So now I'm going to edit my deck. So this is what we have here. Let's see. Is this here? Remove these really low cards because they're kind of useless, and then add in the extra blizzard that I got on this file. Alright, now we're going to start farming enemies, and this is a lot of the speedrun is to do with farming, because every encounter gives you, at the end, one of those map cards. And map cards are kind of, like, really what slows down this run, to where it even takes as long as it does. Because basically every door you come across in the game, you're going to need one of these map cards to open it. And you only get one per encounter, so we've got to fight quite a lot of enemies. And optimized farming is a big, big component of going fast. So now that we have that second blizzard, we can use Lazara. And the way that works is you can do this thing you've seen me do where I stock up 3 of my cards at once, and then they execute all at the same time. Now that's got some advantages. First of all, since it adds together the values of the 3 cards, it makes it very hard for opponents to break. In fact, most enemies can't muster anything higher than, 9, or regular enemies don't even go up that high for the most part. So if you're over that, then you'll be sure to be able to break anything they throw at you and not get broken by their cards. But in addition, normally if you just use any 3 random cards, oops, I should have picked those up, but okay, I wasn't even really trying to hit that lamppost. Hitboxes are kind of wacky in this game sometimes. Oh my gosh. Well, there goes my blizzard. Now we just have to do it this way. Hitting things is hard sometimes. What was I saying? Oh, right. If you just use any random 3 cards in a stock, then you'll just execute them right after the other. But if you use specific combinations, you can execute what is called a slight, which is basically just a special move. And that there's a lot of different ones, but basic one that we've got right from the start, 2 blizzards makes Lazara. And that's really handy because not only does it do more damage than Blizzard, it's also got a much bigger area of effect, so we can much more easily hit multiple enemies at once and take care of these grind fights quickly. This encounter is kind of awkward to get just because of it's 3 separate spawns and you kind of have to line them up well in order to take them out quickly. So what are we farming for? Well, first of all, those map cards, like I said. We need them to get through these doors. So to progress through the game, you just have to fight enemies regardless. But besides that, there are some specific things that I'm hoping to get within this first world, Traverse Town. Most notably, I'll be hitting objects right here on the overworld. That can give me a variety of things. Those green balls that you get are pretty much useless. They're just HP recovery orbs. Don't really care about that for the most part. Unless I get hit a bunch, I guess. Oh, nice, he walked into that. Good. This is a premium thing. You can forget about that. That's not important. Well, we won't be using them. And what I'd like to see from the overworld drops is, most notably, Blizzard cards. More Blizzard cards is more better. That'll just help with the damage output of our deck early on. So, like, ideally you like to leave Traverse Town with at least 4 Blizzard cards, but, we'll see how RNG treats me. They've been hard to come by in my recent runs. Well, there you go. There's one. That's perfect, actually. Beautiful. Alright, we're all done farming the enemies in this room, so move on to the next. hope it's not an enemy card fest this time. Yeah, well, we'll see. Some enemy cards you do want. Oops, I hit the door again. So now we've got 3 blizzards. I put that one in immediately because this just makes it easier to hit all the enemies. Like that shadow there tried to get out of my Blizzara, and if it still had been Blizzara, then he probably wouldn't have been hit. But Blizzaga has a much bigger area of effect, so it just makes these fights easier. But it also helps to have more blizzards with all the bosses and stuff coming up later. And then, you know, getting more Kingdom Key cards is nice, especially if they're high values and or zeros. Because that's something I haven't mentioned with the card breaks, but a 0 card will always break anything. So you start off with 1 of those, and you really want to kind of have like 3 to be able to deal with the stuff the endgame bosses dish out. But it's not entirely unheard of for me to run with only 2 0 cards. If I only had 1, it would be a real problem, but you know, we'll get a bunch of more attack cards later. It's not really important right now. What is important right now, let's see. I talked about the blizzards. Getting attack cards is nice. Getting Moogle points, which are the red orbs that drop from overworld objects. Those are good. Those are basically money. We're gonna need some of that later. And then the last thing that we're kind of looking at for this point is enemy cards. So the last enemy you kill in a given encounter has a 10%, well, 10% if you're in this room type. I'll talk more about that later, but it has a chance of dropping its corresponding enemy card. And enemy cards are just like passive effects that you can, if you put them in your deck, you can activate them, and they'll help with stuff. These specific enemies, if I kill these last in an encounter, they can give me the Blue Rhapsody card, and the Blue Rhapsody card powers up your blizzards until you reload by 50%, so that's pretty neat, because we'll be using a lot of blizzard, so we want to get that preferably in the first world if we can. Just kind of running around here, trying to hit everything. The room layouts, by the way, are all random. Like, I never know where anything is going to be. They're like procedurally generated and stuff. It's pretty great. Like the way the rooms are connected to each other is the same always, but the actual room layout is pretty much random, and also dependent on the type of room card you use to generate the room. Because you'll notice that every time I open a new room, I have like this big list of different ones to choose from, and right now I'm specifically always trying to use Teeming Darkness. Teeming Darkness has some nice advantages, especially this early on. For one, it makes a big room with lots of enemies. It spawns 8 encounters, whereas most rooms only spawn 5. So that's nice for grinding. The big room has lots of objects to hit to get stuff like blizzards from, so that's nice. And then plus, it also increases your chance of getting enemy cards. Most rooms, it's only 5%, here it's 10%, so that's also nice. Again, any one of these encounters that ends with a Blue Rhapsody, I have a chance of getting one. The red enemies have a fire version of the same card. I'd also like to get that, but it's less immediately useful. So the blue one is the main one, and also the more likely one to run across at this point, because there's more encounters that end with these enemies than the red Nocturnes. So yeah, this is like, what, the 3rd Teeming Darkness room we're farming. Generally, you like to go for about 5 or so. Although I often go for more, just because I'm like looking for more blizzards. And the reason like I'm doing this much farming within the first world, specifically for the object triggers, is just because as we go we're gonna start unlocking more different types of cards that can drop, and it kind of dilutes the pool from getting the blizzards, and the blizzards are kind of what you want early on. So even just going into the first what we kind of call plot door in Traverse Town will give me the Simba card, and from then on I can get Simba cards as random drops, and Simba is useless, so that's why I've delayed that. We'll do that basically once we're done farming. We'll go through all the plot doors and actually progress the game. I hit this one? Yeah, basically hit everything here, I think. Gimme! Gimme! Oh, it's a 1! Lovely. That's basically useless anyway. So yeah, summary. We have 3 Blizzard cards at the moment. I'd like 4, and also that Blue Rhapsody enemy card if we can get it. That's what you ideally want to leave Traverse Town with. If it takes too long to get, I'll move on anyway, and we'll just deal with the badness as it comes. I haven't been getting a lot of these. Those are again your currency. We do need a decent bit of that, but you know we have like a long time to go before we need it, so it's not a big deal if we don't get a ton of it right away. It just means that I'm gonna have to keep like hitting those objects to get more of it. No, the One Blue is not possible to obtain in Traverse Town, and that's actually a big part of the reason why it's such an annoying part, because a lot of the farming is done in Traverse Town because it's just the easiest place to do it. We'll talk about the One Blue more when it actually becomes relevant, but yeah, that is the big RNG factor that can really kill runs. Besides, like, getting that blizzard at the start. So if I had 4 blizzards, I could basically use 2 Blizzagas. Because the way that works, I didn't explain this point, but when you use a Slight, or any 3 stock cards, the first one will not reload when you load your card, when you reload your cards. So like if I reloaded my deck now, I would only have 2 blizzards, and I wouldn't be able to do another Blizzaga. So if I had 4, then I could use a Blizzaga, reload, use another Blizzaga. So it's a pretty big difference in terms of the damage output you get from your deck, just having that 1 extra blizzard. And yeah, the fact that that the first card disappears is a big thing we have to play around. Later on, we'll be getting some cards that you can use to reload cards that would otherwise be unreloadable. Kind of cheat that system. But right now we just kind of have to deal with it, so that's why we want a good amount of blizzards early on if we can get it. I think we're done with this room. We're kind of getting close to the point where I should stop farming. After this room, I don't know, we'll see where we're at. I think Recom is faster on PS4, I want to say? Recom's also kind of an easier run, and also they've got RNG manip now. So I've heard. I don't really know that much about Recom. I know fire is really broken. Like, I've done like a blind race of that, and all I did was spam fire, and that pretty much worked. This run's a bit more complicated. There's a bit more variety in the strategies. But they're pretty roughly around the same time, speedrun-wise. In the same ballpark, at least. I love that AoE on Blizzaga. It's so big, it's really easy to catch everything in it. Does this have 100%? There is, in fact, a 100% category for this game, and it's like 11 hours, maybe less. I forget. It's in that ballpark of like 10 hours ish. Also because the definition involves doing Riku's story, which is like a whole other part of the game that we're not doing today, and then like getting all of the cards in the game, basically. We haven't been getting a ton of good drops so far. Not a ton of these either. And we're already pretty much at the end for where we should stop farming. I'll do one more room. This is what I usually do, like, if I don't have good stuff yet at this point, I'll just do one more, just to try. And then I'll start opening the plot doors, and I'll still hit, like, some object triggers as we finish up the world to hopefully get another blizzard. But, you know, we can't stick around here forever. It's gonna start being real inefficient. I think you might be thinking, man, we're 23 minutes in, we're still in the first world. I promise this will speed up significantly, especially when you get to like the second world card set. Like, we're gonna start blowing through worlds at certain points. You'll be just in and out in a couple minutes. But, you know, we do need the farm. What do you need to farm for? Like, generally always map cards. Though I have enough now to carry me through, like, the next couple worlds. So right now, I'm pretty much doing it. You know, it still gives me map cards, because we still need, like, tons of them. And we'll do more map card farming later. But I'm doing it right now just for chances at other stuff. There's actually the first enemy card drop we've had all game, which is surprising, because it's like I said, it's a 10% drop, and we've fought like a good 40 encounters so far, I think. Yeah, 8 times 5. But it wasn't the one we wanted. The shadow enemy card is useless to us, so... Getting any enemy card that that isn't the ones you want is just bad luck, because it, you know, it replaces a map card that you could have gotten. Alright, well, at this point I'll run through this room again, hit all the object triggers again, and then we'll start opening the plot doors, because it just doesn't seem to be happening right now for good drops. So we gotta start moving on. Making sure that something didn't drop out of that and was like hidden from sight. Alright. We're gonna open up this now. No, I don't even have the possibility of getting the one blue yet. That will start coming in once we get to the next world, which will be soon. So now we get our tutorial kind of talking about like the card values and how that works, and card breaks, and slides and stuff. I already explained all that, but you know, like I said, we were delaying this tutorial because now I'll have a lower chance of getting blizzards after this. Though in my experience, this is always when I actually finally get a blizzard card, is like after I've done this, and then I'm like still trying to hit some triggers to get it, and then that's always when I get it, even though the chance is slightly diluted. So the way this works is like most worlds will have 3 plot doors that you have to open in a specific order, and usually the 3rd one will have the boss. And they can have like really specific requirements for what you need to open those doors. Like a specific color or a specific value. Why are blue cards so special? They kind of have like unique properties, like Moogle rooms, treasure rooms, stuff like that. There's some of those that we want, and the one blue specifically. That's for. I guess I'll talk about it now because everybody's talking about it. The last big plot door of the game requires, among other things, a blue card with the value 1, which is very, very rare, and moreover, I can't get it in Traverse Town because there's no blue card drops here. So, getting that, just, you know, you literally cannot finish the video game without getting the one blue. And it's totally random, and in every world after this one, it's basically like a 1 in 50, I've been told, drop from any given encounter. So that's the kind of odds we're working with here, and I am still not getting any blizzards. So at this point, I just have to kind of cut my losses. I'm going to add in a couple more of these attack cards, just because I have them. Now we just have to kind of give up and move on and deal with... this deck is really bad now, though. This is like... You're gonna see it immediately on this boss, like... That was my Blizzard. Or, my Blizzaga. Had I had the Rhapsody, that would have done 50 more damage. Had I had an extra Blizzard, I would have been able to do another one of them. Had I had both of those, all the limps would already be dead. So now we just have to do it like this. I guess we'll use this. I should have actually reloaded and then used it, because then we could have used Blizzara. Because Blizzara won't actually hit the limbs. I guess we can do it now. Unless you use that trick card. There we go. Now all the limbs are down, now we just hit the body for a while. So, like, this estimate includes quite a bit of leeway for bad stuff to happen, which is good, because this game is, it's not the safest of marathon runs, I guess. Reflectively going to activate the Rhapsody that I don't have. So Axel is also weak to Blizzard, so it's pretty good on him. We don't have enough to actually kill him with it, so we have to spam some attacks. And now we have Fire. Fire is also good. Alright, so now you can do these worlds in whichever order you like. And the route uses a very specific order. The main reason we do Olympus Coliseum first is because there's these treasure rooms. We need to get a map card called Calm Bounty. That will allow us to make a room with a treasure chest, and in Olympus Coliseum only, that treasure chest will give us the sleight called Blizzard Raid, which is a move where Sora kind of throws his Keyblade with a Blizzard property to it, and the raids are very nice, very, very nice attacks in GBA Calm. They're not so good in Recon, but they're very good for this. Oh gosh, they kind of separated. So we got the Calm Bounty on the first one, so that's good. I should reload. I can one-shot these with Blizzara, even unboosted, luckily. I also noticed that I've pretty much just been leveling CP. We don't actually want to level up HP that much, for reasons. And having more CP just means you can put more stuff in your deck before you hit the cap. So yeah, this is when we can start getting the One Blue also, because now we can get blue cards. And the distribution of cards is actually not like uniformly distributed between the numbers. Higher and lower cards are less likely to pop up than kind of the mid-tier ones. So you get lots of 3s to 6s. Not a lot of 1s, which is another reason why the One Blue is rare. Alright, we got 2 Calm Bounties, that's good. We need at least 2 for these first couple worlds, because we're gonna need 1 here to learn Blizzard Raid, and then 1 in the next world to learn Fire Raid. So this is... These barrel spider encounters can have varying numbers of enemies, and this is one with a lot of them. So this encounter is actually really kind of sucky. I'm just gonna let a couple of them blow up, so I don't have to deal with them. When you hear this part of the song, you know that you're fighting a bad encounter. This is also kind of good. This is another chance to get the Blue Rhapsody card. Because if we don't get it in Olympus, we're basically not gonna have it for a while. I'm actually kind of like at this point second guessing myself. Like, shouldn't I have just kept farming for a bit longer in Traverse Town, even though it was really bad? Because yeah, with this deck, it's gonna be hard to kill bosses. I'm gonna be straight with you guys. It's not a good situation we're in right now. Like, missing the Rhapsody or the 4th Blizzard, that's doable. Missing both, it's not a good situation. We're gonna have some trouble, but we'll get through together, hopefully. Now we've got Blizzard Raid, and I'm gonna change my deck to set up for using Blizzard Raid. The Blizzard Raid is 1 Blizzard card, and then 3 attack cards. So that's the other reason it's actually quite nice. Over just using regular Blizzards. Like, one reason you'll see pretty much straight away is that it's really easy to hit lots of things for lots of damage with the way this works in this kind of isometric perspective type game. Like, you can just kind of hit everything on the screen and hit them multiple times as well, so that's pretty good. But then besides that, it's also like, now with 3 Blizzards, we could do 1 Blizzaga, or we can do 3 Blizzard Raids, so it's pretty good for that as well. Oh yeah, and I can't actually kill these large bodies in 2 hits of Blizzard Raid, because I don't have the boost from Rhapsody. I guess I probably should just stop farming here and move on, because there's not really a lot here that we can get that we can't get later. Besides the possible Blue Rhapsody drop, I guess. So I'll just farm out this room and then we'll probably just move on. But doing these bosses is gonna be... It's not gonna be a fun experience for me with this deck. Speaking of bosses, we've got one coming up right here. Let's see. I do have a knife. So here's Cloud. So I've got to really make sure that I maximize my damage off of these Blizzard Raids that I have. So I'm going to wait for him to do something that I can break. Get a good distance, and then you can see that I can get 4 hits in off of Blizzard Raid if I've got good spacing on the enemy. This attack's just kind of... I'm just going to break it. It's kind of hard to hit him off of that. I'm kind of hoping for him to do cross slash, but I guess this works. Come on. Alright, it's good enough. We're out of Blizzards, but I can finish him off from here. And that wasn't too bad, but next we gotta fight Hades, who's a real problem. He moves around a lot, is the main issue. It's really hard to get good good raids on him. Oops. Still kind of like hoping, praying I can get a good drop, but this game's really not cooperating with me today. It's pretty dire. these are a lot easier to farm now that I've got Blizzard Raid. And that was the good spawn, where only 3 of them spawn and the encounter's immediately over. So like, hitting barrels is always kind of nice, because it's either a relatively easy to farm encounter, or you get a guaranteed drop of something. So hitting barrels whenever possible in the early game is nice. Alright, we're just gonna do it. We're just gonna fight Hades and see where we end up. My last practice run had real trouble with this too, and that had the Rhapsody. So, we'll see how this goes. Let's see if we can get a good spacing on him. Alright, that's 1 good raid. That's 2. I should finish him. Alright, that was actually quite good. That was a lot more painless than it could have been. That actually probably looked pretty easy. But trust me, that fight can go wrong. Like, if I missed with those raids, I would just be kind of like floundering around. Yeah, he was just kind of cooperating. Like, a lot of the time he'll just be like constantly hovering towards you, and when they're close to you, like, your raids are just gonna do like 2 hits at best. That's just kind of problematic when you've got such limited damage in your deck. And trying to fight him with attack cards is just like, Alright, so now we're gonna do Monstro. Again, the main reason we're doing this one now... I probably shouldn't be farming stuff here, by the way. I forget if this is a good one or not. No, these guys are kind of a pain to deal with. But I'm also failing to run away. Like, fighting regular encounters in Monstro is kind of a pain. There's lots of bad enemies. Mainly the green Requiems, which absorb all magic, so, you know, that's bad when we're primarily doing our damage with Blizzard Raids. These barrel spiders are still fine, so I'm just gonna keep trying to fight these. And I like making Sleeping Darknesses in this world because they get lots of barrels. But they also like doing that. Placing enemies right in front of you at the door. I could have probably fought that one, actually. I don't think that one had the bad enemies. Oh, there was a guy there behind the door. This is definitely a bad spawn, though. Sometimes there's just, like, in Sleeping Darkness, there's just an enemy standing somewhere where, like, you can't avoid hitting him, or he's, like, hidden behind something. It's good times. I'm really just hoping that one of these barrels gives me a damn blizzard, or at least a fire. You know, something good. I guess Moogle points are not the worst thing. Oh, there's a fire. I will actually put that in my deck, just because we're, like, so low on damage. I can use anything I can get, really. Parasite Cage is going to be a bit of a nightmare. Probably. When do we use our Moogle card? I could actually do the emergency thing and use it here and buy a pack of cards with it. I have done that in a run before. What do I want to use here? You, I guess. That'll cut into our Moogle room card and, like, Moogle point supply for the rest of the game. I don't actually know how many Moogle points I have right now. It might be worth... Oh, I actually have a lot already. I've already made all the rooms in this world, though. You know what? Screw it. I'm actually just gonna do it. Even though we only have one. I don't want to risk doing it if I only have one, because, you know, you never know. Maybe the next world won't drop any. So we won't do it. I was gonna do backup strats, but then now we're not doing it. Alright, let's see. Make some space here, make another fire raid. Make sure that's at least a decent value. I'm gonna put in my cloud card as well, and I don't have any friggin' Rhapsodies or Nocturnes, so this fight's gonna be a bit of a problem, but we'll see. We'll see how we do. I'm gonna use a fire. Oh, I never picked up Fire Raid. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. Okay, that's fine. It still gave me the trick card. I totally forgot to pick up Fire Raid. Okay, that's not smart. I'm not even getting 4 hits off of this. I'm not spaced correctly. Oh, this is real bad. I'm not gonna lie, this is real bad. This fight is gonna be... I've done, like, nowhere near enough damage. And yeah, I still don't have... Oh my god, he's got so much health! What shall we do? Like, this was already not going to be a great fight, but not having Fire Raid is making it all the worse. Okay. Reload. This is why Cloud is here, because he's just kind of an easy way to do a decent chunk of damage. I'm trying to not place him at the start of my combos, because then he'll go away and I can't use him again. But he's also not, like, in the best place in my deck to, like, easily stock up these combos quickly. Sure, we'll use Donald, why not? Oh. Here we go. Okay, so that fight was, not fast. Not gonna lie, that could have been a bit better. I was so caught up in everything else that I totally forgot about picking up Fire Raid. It's a bit of a silly mistake. Alright, we have to waste a card here real quick to make this so we can actually grab Fire Raid. Alright, now we have it. Just gonna keep trying to hit these barrels and get something decent, but... Oop, accidentally went out. Alright, and then... all the enemies are in front of the door. Yeah, it's just sitting in a chest. Like, it's not even a physical object, it's just like an ability, and it's just sitting in a chest. Yeah, I can beat the boss more easily now. I mean, it would have been a fight, it would have been a bad fight either way. Especially with how I got the spacing wrong to get 4-hit raids. So here we just gotta, like, take out these guys quickly enough so that that bar fills up. If I don't kill anything for, like, several seconds, then the meter will start to decrease. It is actually possible to fail this fight. Oops. Yeah, there we go. If you really, really screw it up, but I don't think that's ever happened to me. You know, now the bar is full, now we just need to finish off the remaining enemies, and there we go. And that's Monstro done. moving on to Wonderland. So Wonderland is kind of where we make our stand for farming for the One Blue. Kind of the last good place to farm for it. And in addition, it's also the best place to farm for the Red Nocturne enemy card, which would have been nice if we got that at least, so we can at least power up our fires even if we can't power up our blizzards. Should actually edit my deck a bit here. Having the fire at the front is not ideal. Because there's, you know, enemies that are immune to fire here. Also, there's another reason here why not having the Rhapsody at this point is not ideal. I cannot one-shot, or, well, like, technically two-shot, but I can't one-raid the large body enemies, and there's quite a lot of those. I can actually do it if I get enough spacing, like this, so I get more than 2 hits. But that requires me to, you know, get away from them. I could actually, like... I guess I could try to leave those Nocturnes alive, even if they spawn at the start of the encounter, just to try and kill them last to get the enemy card. But there's some good enemies, some good enemy encounters in this world that end with Nocturnes. So you see how raids are, like, pretty good in this game, right? Well, we're not actually going to be using them for all of the game, but they're good for this farming, at least. There is going to be a better method of farming later on. Yeah, CP is card points. It just lets you put more stuff in your deck, basically. There's just a cap. Every card, depending on the type and value, will take a certain number of CP in your deck, and if you go above the cap, then it won't let you use the deck. Like, it's not even that we need that much CP. Like, you're generally gonna be pretty far over what you actually need at any given time. But it's just that we don't actually want to level HP that much. And you'll see why when we get to the next world. Because we're gonna use... Well, anyone familiar with Pokemon speedruns? You know, staying at low HP for better damage? Yeah, basically that. But for now, we basically we're just gonna farm here for a while, because we really do need that One Blue. Red bar, yeah, red bar, sure. So, I guess this is a good time to tell you about what I'm gonna do if I don't get the One Blue. Cause, you know, like I said, there is no real true backup for not getting it. Like, you just need to get the card to finish the video game. There is no way, full stop, to finish the game if I don't get the One Blue. And I can, in theory, be farming for it all night and never get it. Like I said, it's about a 1 in 50 from any of these encounters. So there's a decent chance that I'll still get it within this world before things get too dire. I'd say at this point, maybe it's like a 50-50 shot or so. I don't know. But if we don't get it, I'm just gonna have to load a save. And I have a save set up like at the end of the game when we actually need the one blue. I won't load it until we get to the end, but I'll just like at some point I'll just move on, give up on it, and then load the save at the end. So we can still like run with the cards that I've been getting in this run for authenticity for most of the run, and then just use the save at the end. How many fights do you do in a regular run before a reset? Pretty much just farm through this entire world, make a teeming darkness in every room, and just wait to get it. I've actually like already killed quite a few encounters in the previous two worlds as well, so like even that is already a little bit excessive. But like I really don't want to have to use the safety save, so I'll at least farm out every room in this world at a minimum. I don't know. It's probably not even worth it to try to hit object triggers anymore because I've got plenty of Moogle points. It's really just the enemy cards I'm lacking. I want to actually check something. Did I ever get? No, I haven't gotten another Moogle room. But even if I wanted to, I couldn't make another room. When is the most optimal Moogle room? It's gonna be after Agrabah, which is the last world that we do in the first world card set. After this, we'll do Halloween Town, then we'll do Agrabah. And at the very end of that, we'll make a Moogle room, and we'll basically use that to buy everything we need for the rest of the run. And I say that as if it's straightforward, but it's actually not, because, you know, as if there wasn't enough RNG with the drops yet, we also gotta buy card packs, and those will just give us whatever the hell they feel like. And there are certain things that we do need to get from that, so but I'm gonna like utilize saves there, potentially reset a bunch. We'll see about that when we get there. Especially with not having any enemy cards so far, it's all pretty dire. Like, I'm not gonna lie, RNG has been very, very mean to me so far this run. But you know, that's kind of what you expect for a marathon run, I guess. Like, I mean, I haven't run this game as much as someone like Ghost Wheel, so this statement might not hold as much weight, but I'm pretty sure this is probably the worst RNG I've ever had on a comm run thus far. You ever take bonus C? You mean like the level up bonus? Like learning a sleight? Nah, none of the ones that we learn from level up are all that spectacular. I think there are some good ones, but you've gotta buy every preceding one in order to get to the good ones. So it's just kind of not worth it. And we'd probably like be activating them by accident when we don't want to. Because a lot of them just use attack cards, and we'll be using actually a lot of basic attack cards for a lot of the endgame bosses. I was gonna be real hype if I ever get the thing, but I've run this game long enough to know that once Calm starts screwing with you, there's a good chance it's just gonna keep doing it. Oh, there it is! Yeah, we got it, boys. Alright. Good stuff, good stuff. So we won't have to load the safety save. We should be able to at least finish this run on this file. Our situation with like the lack of enemy cards and not a lot of blizzards and stuff is still pretty bad, but you know, at least all of that is manageable. But now we're saved from just the hard, you cannot finish this run RNG. Everything else we can play around. As long as I don't accidentally use it. And hey, there's the Red Nocturne card, which is the main reason why I was actually still farming here. Because at this point I should probably, now that I have that, I should probably just move on from here, because I think we've farmed plenty for this part of the game. I think we're just gonna move on. Yes, indeed, we did get the one blue just now. Oh yeah, I didn't put in the Nocturne yet. I probably should, because it would have actually let me one-shot these enemies with the fire raid. But oh well. I'm gonna put it in after this, because it'll help me actually killing the boss. Oh, hey, fire raid actually stuns these guys. I don't think I ever noticed that, because usually I just take them out with the blizzards. Alright, I'll go put that in. Alright, we should eventually get that blue Rhapsody probably when we go back to Traverse Town for farming. Because basically at this point, we're not going to do any more farming outside of Traverse Town, because there's nothing we can get outside of Traverse Town that we can't get in Traverse Town that we still need. We've got all the blue cards we need, and that's the main thing you can't get in Traverse. Yeah, things are finally looking up. I'm happy about that, honestly. Things could be worse. Alright, so this guy right here... I'm just gonna stand right next to him and break his combos. And that should ensure me 4-hit raids for some reason. It's kind of weird. They didn't even know about this for a long time. They did the thing where they actually make the table with the Mickey card to hit him better. Now you can see that these fire raids are doing more damage than the blizzard raids were, because I'm using the Nocturne to boost them. Still not quite enough damage to take him out with it, but you can just finish him off like that. So I'm actually not going to be leveling... I've leveled HP twice. I'm not going to be leveling it again for quite a while. Just to make it easier to get into low HP for Berserk strats, which you will be seeing very soon. So yeah. Now we're gonna actually blow through some worlds. And I'm gonna try to take damage in this fight to get into critical HP. I didn't actually pay attention to what my XP value was. It's possible that I might level up from this fight, which would defeat the purpose of getting into low HP. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Let's see, what am I at? Yeah, okay, no, we're fine. I can just pick up this XP. Because leveling up takes you back to full HP. You get a full heal. So now we're in crit HP, and using the Hades card that I'll put into a new deck shortly, we can do double damage while we're in low HP for 30 attacks. So, like, this is a good time to talk about just kind of general map card management, now that we were not really farming anymore, we're just kind of using our cards to get through. The way it works is, like, at the start of any world, the first door will take a 1 or higher, and then the next one will take whatever number you used on the first door plus 1, and it just keeps increasing that way. So you kind of have to plan out your routes a little bit. And, like, there's a lot of like, trying to keep certain cards, because you need them for certain doors. I don't know. There's a lot of thought that goes into it. I'm not just kind of mindlessly throwing whatever fits into every door. I kind of have to pay attention to stuff a lot of the time. And similar to with battles, like the 0 works on everything, so those are always nice. Use you. Alright, and now I'm gonna make that deck because we're about to hit the boss. So I'm gonna put in. Oh, I never did get more 0 cards yet. That's not ideal, but we can work with it. Here. You, I guess. And then some potions and the Hades card. And that should set me up for a nice quick Oogie fight. Yeah, it is freaking weird that Luxord isn't in this game, by the way. It's just one of those things if they just didn't think of Luxord yet, so then they made him for KH2, and I don't know, it's just like, well, why wasn't he in the first one? Just because they hadn't thought of him yet, I guess. Alright, now I'm gonna activate Hades, and now I'm doing double damage. Heck yeah. I was also trying to hit those dice, so that now I don't have to lower the bar again by breaking 3 of his attacks. I can just do it instantly. And that's the fight. Nice and easy. Wow, I didn't actually level up from that. I'm still in low HP. Huh. I'm gonna level up from the first fight in Halloween Town, but... or in Agrabah, rather. Hopefully it doesn't kill me. And hooray, I didn't forget to switch back to the raids deck, because that is the way to deal with these encounters. These guys also don't die to unboosted raids. Just no Rhapsody things. That actually works out quite nicely, because now it takes a lot more experience for us to level up, because we just leveled up. So that's actually quite good. Because... okay, I'm just going to talk about a bunch of stuff now that's coming up, because the run's about to get pretty serious. There's a lot of stuff that's going to go happen all at once, once we get close to the end of this world. So, first things first, there's going to be 2 bosses in a row. We're going to fight Jafar, and then we're going to go straight from there into Larxene 1. And we're going to try to use Berserk strats for both of those fights. So that's why I want my experience to be set up so that I don't level up from Jafar, so that we stay in low HP for the Larxene fight. Which is actually quite a risky strat too, but you know. That's just kind of how this run is. Hey, this is where the run gets difficult, and it's not going to get any easier. Well, it kind of does for a bit, then it really ramps up at the end again. I'm just making some of these. I have tons of Calm Bounty cards. I got so many of those during Wonderland farming. So now we're gonna take some damage again to get into low HP. Beautiful, only you left. And there we go. I don't know why I'm hitting that. It would have actually been bad if it dropped HP orbs, because I don't want those. We still only have the 1 Moogle room. Go figure. So I'm actually gonna have to make it 0, so that I can use the 4 later. We're gonna make the Moogle room at the very end. And then we're gonna buy attack cards. So the way attack cards work, so far we've just been using Kingdom Keys, but by this point, by getting a bunch from... That's not the one I wanted to use. I wanted to use the Moogle room. It's a waste of a card. Whoopsies. Yeah, we're gonna get a bunch of different types of attack cards, and different types of attack cards actually have different properties. Specifically, some work better in certain parts of your combo. So, by setting up our deck in a specific, with very specific ordering, which I'm gonna do right after this, using all these cards we're getting here, you're going to be able to deal quite a bit more damage by having specific types of Keyblades at certain parts of your combo. The exact specifics of it I'm not really going to go into, but there you go, that's all the attack cards we're going to have for the run, basically. That seemed like a pretty good spread, with some pretty decent values. I should be able to run with that, no problem. So now I'm going to pay attention for a bit. Let's see. I only have 1 0. That's real bad. I'm gonna actually put a 0 fire in just because it's something. Alright, and then 3, 7, 2, 4, 6, 6, 6, 3, 7. 3, 6, 7, 5, 1, 5, I guess? That's 6 combos, they're all somewhat decent-ish value. And then we make a high potion slight, and haze. Alright, now we're gonna go fight Jafar. Oh, that works with the 0, thank god. Oh, I didn't switch my dick. I'm so sad, dude. I'm so sad. This is a mistake I've made before. I didn't actually switch to the deck I just made. Whoopsies. I guess I could just set up Berserk again in the Jafar fight itself. I don't think there's any reason I can't do that. Although maybe it's not ideal because he kind of deals a lot of damage, so I might take a bit more than I intend, but we'll just do it this way. And one more of those, please. I don't want to get hit by that. That does a bit too much when I'm on this HP. If he'd done that earlier, that would have been perfect. But alright. There we go. Now we gotta hit Iago, which is difficult sometimes because he's quite high up. He's being a jerk. There we go. Alrighty. For now, you'll notice we didn't level up there, so we're going to stay in low HP. And now we're going to go straight into the Larxene 1 fight. This fight can be pretty dangerous, so this is a bit of focus time for me. No! That's bad. I let her break my, my high potion. That's a mistake on my part. I'm gonna run out of cards now, which is the problem. Still managed it eventually. That wasn't ideal, but that could have been worse. Because that high potion card, that is a card that actually lets me reload all my attack cards, including the ones that were lost from doing slights. But I accidentally let her break that, so it didn't go off, so I had to do manual reloads and didn't have those cards. Alright, so now we're gonna buy magic card packs. Because we just got Thunder, and we want some Thunders and a bunch of Fires, ideally. That's pretty bad. I'll buy one more. If this is also a bad card pack, I'm gonna reload that save. Yeah, okay, that's not good enough. This is kind of the last really big RNG thing in the run, probably. Because I basically only have limited movable points to spend, so we need to get some decent drops from these card packs. We want to see blizzards. Well, no, mostly thunders and fires. That's a garbage pack, and I should probably just immediately reset that. Okay, well, we're gonna reset again. We're not getting very good stuff. So what I need is, what do I need? At least like 3 or so more fires and 2 thunders total. I do have a decent bit of money. I might actually be able to afford more card packs than normal. And it's not giving me the fires and thunders right now. This is pretty garbage. I'm gonna just keep resetting until I get like some decent packs. Then basically plan is probably go back and save and then buy more. But like I'm not getting any good packs right now. It's really bad. The game really wants me to use Cloud. That actually used to be a thing in old routes, I'm told. But not since I learned the game. Take the bottom right pack. You know what? I think you're onto some. Well, no, it's gone. I guess it's this one now. Should I go for this? At least I got some blizzards, but like I don't even have the blizzard boosting card, so it's it's very eh. I'm looking mainly for fires and thunders. Like, at least 2 thunders, that's like a hard limit, and like a good amount of fires. Oh my god, what is this, dude? Where are they? I'm gonna reset again. If this keeps going for too long, I might actually start just like taking worse stuff and just like deal with it. Maybe, I don't know. It's always hard to figure out exactly like how you want to play this. And ideally, you just get a ton of fires and thunders, but game's being pretty cruel. Alright, you know what? That's a decent first pack. At least I've got all the thunders I need now. I'll go save, and now we just need to grind fires. Just make a Dumbo deck, dude. New strats, 2019, let's go. Alright, alright. Yes, 2 fires. Alright, I'm gonna sell some stuff. Actually check if I have enough to buy like 2 more packs. I don't think I do. Nah, I don't think that's gonna happen. If the thunders are bad values, it doesn't really matter. Alright, I'll go save one more time and then try to get like... That's how much do we have? We have 4 fires total. Yeah, Is that good enough? Can I sell enough to buy another pack? We don't need the extra thunders now. Can we make this? Okay, okay. I'll save one more time and try to get like 1 more fire. I'm really taking this safe because I don't want to end up in a situation where I just don't have the damage. Like, I'm wasting a lot of time on this, and if this were an actual PvE pace, run, I'd probably not spend this much time on this, but for marathon safety, I really want to make sure that I've got good stuff. Like, we've got enough time in the incentive, or not in the incentive, in the estimate, that it's fine to waste some time on this, just to make sure that I can do the route properly. Now we're getting all the thunders, of course. Alright, let me actually check, like, how much do we have? We've got 5 of these and 4 of these. No, 5 of these. It's not quite enough. I do need like an extra fire, basically, because we don't have the Blizzard booster card. That's like the main thing. There's a good chance that we'll still get that anyway, but like I'm gonna count on bad RNG here. Although I don't know. If we just get one Blizzard again, I'll probably just take it at this point. We've been here for a while now. Simba, dude. What? It's your boy Simba. Alright, you know, screw it. I'm done with this. I'm over it. We're gonna move on. I think it's enough that we can roll with it. I'm gonna screw it. Alright. I need to actually do this. Okay. Now we're gonna remake the raids deck with the cards we have now. We're gonna put in fire and some good attack cards. Another fire and some good attack cards. Another fire and some good attack cards, etc. Keep that up for a while. That's not a good one. I don't want a 1. I want these to be decent value. And then we do the blizzards. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fires, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think that's actually enough damage, but I guess we'll just have to deal with it. And then this is going to be our farming deck, because we do have to go farm a little bit more. Did I equip that? I did. Okay, excellent. Alright, so this little thingy here lets you go back to previous worlds. And now we can farm really efficiently, because Thundaga is basically a screen wipe. We're gonna do this for a little while here now. Again, we just basically need map cards. Although, now that we're back here again, we've got a decent chance to run into Blue Rhapsody encounters. So hopefully we'll get that ice boosting card. Then we'll be sure to have enough damage in our raids deck to deal with the bosses. The main one that I'm worried about is actually the first one that we're going to be doing in the second set of worlds, which is Dragon Maleficent, which normally you'd have 9 boosted raids for. Right now I have 5 boosted raids and then 5 unboosted raids, which comes out to like roughly 8. So I'd be low on damage fighting her right now, which is not good, because Dragon Maleficent is a real pain in the butt if you have to fight her normally. Like, her head goes all over the place, and with the raids, we just, you know, we just don't give her any chance to do anything, really. But with the deck we have right now, I'd run out before I'd kill her. Which is why I was really trying to get enough Fires and Thunders, and we didn't actually still quite make it. I could have kept resetting, but, you know, the game really wasn't being nice to me, so... Oops. So at some point I just said, you know what, we'll deal with it. But now I'm kind of praying for the Rhapsody card to drop here, because otherwise I'm not entirely sure how we're gonna beat her. And at this point, like, we're committed, because I can't even make another Moogle room, because I don't have one. So... like, we're pretty committed now. There's an enemy card, but not the one we want. Yeah, there aren't a lot of people who run this. It's a pretty tiny speedrun community. It's pretty much just like some people who ran this like years ago, and then Ghost Wheel, Abandon the Myriad, and me. That's basically the community. So if you want to run this, you know, you can. It's pretty fun, if you like... I don't know, if you like stuff where you have to, like, do a lot of adapting, kind of a decent bit of math, and, you know, some tough boss fights, because we'll be getting into a lot more of those in the endgame, but, like, the fights get pretty intense near the end of the run. But, you know, you got to be able to deal with the RNG, otherwise you're gonna have a bad time. Or you just run Riku, yeah. Riku's a lot less RNG, because he just gets, like, set decks for each world. So you don't have to deal with any of the deck building stuff, which is why I never liked Riku's story as much, because that was kind of the interesting part of it for me. So that's why I run Sora. But there are, like, Ghost Wheel made quite a nice video tutorial for running this game, so that's out there. So it's not too difficult of a run to pick up. My last couple runs have actually had decent endgames, but yeah, there's a lot that can go wrong there. Like, when I was derusting, I was having some real bad runs there. I, like, had a run where I died, like, 9 times or something in endgame. It wasn't pretty. But you can really see why we farm like this. It's pretty fast. Trying to think how much I should farm here right now, because basically the way this is going to work is, right now I'm farming at least enough to get comfortably through the next couple of worlds. Up to the last 2 worlds. Once we hit that point, I'll go back here, and I'll make a quick inventory of how many map cards I have, and then just farm until I have enough to do the rest of the game. Like, doing that right now is kind of difficult because there's a lot to go. But by that time, I should be able to make a decent calculation by just counting what I have and comparing that against what I need for the rest of the game. So it doesn't matter too much if we farm a bit too much here. Like, as long as we don't farm so much that we have more than we need for the entire rest of the game, it's fine. Especially since I'd really like to get that blue Rhapsody card, I'm probably gonna stay here for a couple more rooms at least, if I don't get it. I mean, Recom basically keeps all the mechanics in place for the most part. There are some balance changes, but mostly it's just the same thing in 3D, but that does change inherently a lot of things. Like, the raids that you've seen me spamming just aren't that good when you've got 360 degrees. Like, you're not hitting, like, everything on the screen with them. For instance. Yeah, it does add an extra phase to the final boss, so you get Lord of the Castle, which is pretty great. Oh yeah, this game does have a multiplayer. I think I may have played it once, maybe? If you want to actually see that in action, or just in general if you want to see more calm, in 2017, at RPG Limit Break, there was a Ghost Wheel, who's the world record holder for the game, and basically, like, the god of this game. He did a run of this at that event, and there was a donation incentive for him to do a match of the multiplayer with OC, who was also there, and it was pretty hype. That run is like what got me into this. I saw that at the marathon and I was like, man, that's a cool speedrun. I want to try that. Hi, Seasoner. Sometimes you just use the thunder early before all the enemies spawn, and that's why I have these attack cards in here to mop up any enemies in case I do that. There's the other card again. 2 red Nocturnes isn't really particularly great. Like, that could come into play against Vexen too. So it's not, like, terrible to have 2 of them, but probably doesn't matter. Yeah, we really want friggin' Rhapsodies. Again, every fight I've done that ends with Rhapsodies has been a 10% of getting one, but hasn't happened so far. I'm trying to think, like, at what point am I in danger of farming so much that I'm, like, over-farming for what I need for the entire rest of the game. I think, like, after this room, I really should move on. Even though I don't want to, because I still don't have the Rhapsody. Oh. Well, there we go. Alright, now we're all good. Now we've basically got everything that I really need for the rest of the game. The only really problematic part that's still kind of the case is I only have a single 0 Keyblade card. I have a 0 Fire, which I can kind of use. But, like, so the endgame bosses are, like, gonna throw out these slights. They have really high values. They're gonna be hard to break with my own cards if I'm not using zeros. And we just don't want those attacks to go off, so most of the time you're gonna just throw out a 0, get that out of there. But I only have one, which is the one that I had at the start of the game. And then 1 0 Fire, which is kind of less ideal, because you just want to throw it out real quick and then just move on. The fire animation is a bit longer, but, like, I don't have anything else, so it's the best I have. Alright. Now we're going to switch back to the Raids deck. I'm going to make sure I put that Rhapsody in there. And there should also actually, now that I think about it, I should remember to also put in Parasite Cage, which is useful for a couple of fights. How do you get more zeros? Buy card packs, or get them from Overworld drops, basically. But, like, I can't buy any more card packs because I don't have any more Moogle runes. What does Zwanzig mean? It means 20 in German. I'm not German, but the name is. I want to... Do I have a red 3? I have a couple. But I need to make sure to keep at least one of these, because I'm probably not going to be farming too much anymore. So I'm going to make sure to keep those around. Similar to the one blue, I need to make sure to keep a red 3. The red 3 is just a lot less rare, so you usually have a ton of them, but I don't actually have that many. So I need to be careful with them. No, I wasn't 20 when I made the account. I just thought it was a funny word. That's literally all there is to it. Alright, here we go. Wait. Oh, I didn't... Okay. I'm gonna let her kill me. Apparently, I just put in the Rhapsody, but apparently I forgot that I never put in the Nocturne, so I won't actually be able to kill this. That's the second time I haven't had the right deck for a boss. These are some silly mistakes that really shouldn't be happening. But alright, let me fix up that deck real quick. I think I probably never... Yeah, I didn't put in anything in this deck besides the raids. There should be zeros in there as well. Well, the 0 Fire is already being used for the raid. So I guess this is all we have. Alright, it'll have to do. Alright, alright. Attempt number 2. This time with more actually having the cards I need. So, with this strat, she basically doesn't get to do anything. So you don't really get to see it, but like, if you actually let her do things, this boss is a nightmare. Her head is her only hitbox and it moves all over the place. She's got really high value cards, generally. And, you know, the fire is all over the place. It's just a mess, really. So there's one of the big reasons we do this world first in the second world card set is we just got the Dragon Maleficent card, which is basically like the Hades Berserk card, but not quite as good. Well, it is quite useful, so I'm gonna actually edit that into this deck and pick out this, I guess. Yeah, sure. We'll do it like this, I guess. Because now is where we start fighting Riku, like, every floor, basically. Oh gosh. I should, like, put a filler card at the start of my deck, just to have, like, 3 cards there, because my muscle memory always says to, cycle through 3 cards at the start, because usually there's 3 zeros there, but I don't have that many. I should just put a filler card there, just to have something. Anyway, the Dragon Maleficent card, at the cost of slowing down your reloads, which we don't really care that much about. Oh, he stunned me, what a jerk. It powers up all your attack cards by 50%. It's not quite as powerful as the 100% boost that we get from Hades, but we don't have to be in low HP to use it. So that's quite handy for a bunch of these bosses. It does run out near the end, so we kind of have to do the last bit without it. But it's not too bad. Riku's kind of a pushover in the offense department. Until we hit his last fight, which is where stuff gets serious. We're gonna start upgrading our HP a bit more soon. We're keeping it low actually for the next boss, the boss of Atlantica. We want to make sure that she can easily put us into crit range. But once we defeat her, we're gonna start actually leveling our HP because we're gonna need more for the endgame bosses. They're gonna get tough. Okay, this is the world where I always need to really pay attention so that I remember where to go. It's really, like, very easy to run into dead ends in this on this floor. Then we go here. Yes, this way. Worst KH2 world. And no. Here we are. You kind of see how we're kind of blowing through these worlds pretty fast now. 9 and 7, I guess. Yep. We're all ready for Ursula. gonna let her hit me 4 times. One more. There you go. Oops. Missed her face. Oh, I kind of messed up. I'm out of Berserk. There we go. Alright. I kind of missed some of my attacks there, but worked out fine. Like, we're on such low HP that you really have to be careful in that fight, but like, if you do it right, she doesn't really get any chance to do anything. It's not as scary as it seems. Alright, now we move right into the next Riku fight. He's a little bit tougher now. He actually starts using his own slights now, like Dark Faraga, which he's using very well to cancel out my moves. It's actually kind of bad. I'm gonna run a bit low on cards again. Oops. And I should really not let him do that. Gotta reload now, which is always a great time to wail on him. Now I gotta reload. I actually let him hit me because I kind of need Berserk to deal enough damage here. I'm gonna start running out of cards otherwise. There we go. But yeah, now I'm actually leveling up HP at this point. Alright, so we've got like 5 floors left. Most of them are gonna go pretty fast. So there's Neverland. Just another world we kind of have to get through. Not too much to say about this. What's the worst world in this game? I mean... I don't know. None of them are really... like, most of them are pretty similar. I guess if you really hate minigames, then the next one. But you can ignore all of it, which you'll see that coming up soon. Kind of like trying to figure out which cards I should be using. Ideally, don't really want to use these, but I have a lot of these. Teeming Darkness is kind of not great to use for like navigating through rooms because it makes these huge rooms that just take a while to get through. Use you, I guess. I'm probably gonna like not use too many low cards anymore because I seem to mostly have like 5, 6, 7 range cards at the moment, so I'll try to use those as much as possible. Where are my 6s? Even those I'm running kind of low on. I think I have a lot of really high value cards or something. Nah, I'll just use a 0. Probably shouldn't have used that one. And we got another big room to go through. I got a bunch of low cards here. PBS main game is the Monopoly, everything else is the side game. My man, you understand me. There we go. And here comes Hook. And this fight's kind of annoying. He's weak to fire, so fire rate's quite nice, but he's really aggressive, and it's really hard to get good raids on him. And he kind of murders you pretty quick if he wants to. He jumps around a bunch. He does that. I really gotta try to not die here. Alright. Pretty scary fight. I've actually gone back and forth a little bit, debating, like, you can do this with the attack cards, and it's kind of more consistent, but slower, it feels like. Alright. Now, we don't have to fight Riku this floor. Way. Moving on. And then, lastly here, we're gonna do 100 Acre Wood, which is gonna be just run through it and don't interact with anyone. So, bye! Like, the reason we do this one last is, the boss HP actually scales depending on which floor you do. Which floor you do them on. So, like, if we did Dragon Maleficent, for example, later, she would have more HP and she would be a real pain, so that's another reason we do her first. And, you know, doing a world that we don't have to fight anything in last just kind of makes sense then. Now we're fighting Vexen. This is one of the big reasons we wanted to make sure to have enough fires in our deck. Because fighting this guy with attack cards, it's no bueno. Did you, like, use your move? I can't even break it with my sleight, but I just wanted him to get it out of the way. Yeah. This kind of sucks, because, like, I really need to make sure to not waste my fires. So I have to really play this slow and safe. My last practice run yesterday I had like a godly fight here. It was amazing. But like right now, it's very much not that. Especially since my card values aren't that great, so like I can't break his sleights. And there we go. I only have one more fire raid, but he's low on HP, so we should be fine. There we go. He can freeze you. Alright. Still leveling HP. We're kind of getting to the point where, like, 200 is where I always stop it. That's enough HP to deal with the rest of the game. Yeah, we got a Mega Ether now, and that is actually very useful. Because we gotta fight Vexen again in this world. And he's gonna have more HP now. But the Mega Ether allows you to reload all your magic cards, including ones that were used up in slights. So basically it just means that we get 2 full runs through our fire cards instead of 1. So despite him having more HP, Vexen 2 is actually much less of a pain than Vexen 1 just because you get the Mega Ether. Use you, I guess. Yeah, technically this is the original version of this theme because, you know, this was the first game that Twilight Time was in. Alright, so we're gonna add this, and cure for good measure. And then, oh, right. We're gonna fight Vexen again. I'm just gonna get hit by that. Actually, I could have broken that, I think. It was low enough. Definitely can't break this one. Yeah, that's annoying. That was a miss. Like, all my fires are super low, so my overall values are really bad, and I've only got 1 Keyblade attack card, so it's like, it's a real pain. I'm pretty concerned when it comes to like the endgame bosses, how we're gonna do. Alright, I need to start actually hitting with these friggin' raids. There we go. Oh, and he interrupts it with a 0. What a jerk. Alright, come on. There we go. I kind of wasted a lot of my damage. I need to actually make sure that I do enough, especially since I used up my Nocturne on the first reload. I don't have it anymore now, so I'm not boosting my damage. There we go. Alright. That was a bit more of a pain than it usually is. Oh yeah, you do fight Vexen here in Recom, and the cutscene after it is hilarious. Back to that deck. Okay, I'm actually gonna edit that deck a bit. I'm gonna... hang on. Put that there, and then just like... I have like a high card that's not already in there. I guess that'll have to do. That's just a filler card, just so my muscle memory doesn't get screwed as much. Alright, now we're gonna fight Riku again. And, basically nothing's changed from Riku 2. As far as I can tell, at least. Seems like pretty much the same fight. He's really being happy about breaking me with his, zeros, though. Alright, so let me talk a bit about what I'm gonna do after this fight. Because this is where we're gonna do the last farming of the run. I'm gonna make a quick inventory of... balls. I'm gonna make a quick inventory of all the map cards I have, and then farm exactly enough to get through the rest of the game. Or close enough to exact, you know. Try not to farm too much, basically. should actually be doing that in a different order. There we go. Alright. I'm really concerned over how the endgame bosses are going to go with the lack of zeros. But at this point I just have to deal with it. Alright, I'm gonna make a quick count now. Let's see how we do. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 low cards, and then I'm gonna add up the value of the high cards, which is 6, 18, 32, 41, 46, 56, 61, 70, 78. Okay. Actually, I have a lot less high cards and more low cards than I thought. I guess that low cards were just like hiding in places where I was not seeing them. So we're gonna farm some more. And we do need a good bit more in terms of card value. What number did I actually say at the end there? I immediately forgot. 60 something? I literally immediately forgot what I said. 78? Yeah, 78 sounds right. Alright, add 6 to that. 84. Alright, thanks. 91. 96. I need to go until about 150. $101. $106. And 18 low cards is what we're on. 106 and 18. So the low cards are going to be used for traversing through the worlds, and then there's 2 big doors that I need to use a certain value on in order to open them. There's a 50 door and a 99 door, so that's where the 150 figure comes from. So 113. $18. I'll farm a bit extra just to make sure that I don't run out. Because, like, if I run out of map cards in the last world right at the end, I have a problem. We're not set up to farm in that world. 119. It's actually good. I'm getting mostly high cards now, which is what I need. Heartless going underground. We've basically got enough low cards. Everything over 5 is what I'm counting as high cards, and that's what I count towards my my total. That's what I'll be using on the big doors. Unless we really just keep getting a bunch of 4s now or something, then I might use those on the doors. That's a useless card. That's 126. $133. Once we get out of this farming, it's gonna be endgame, and it's gonna be fast. Hopefully. I mean, I could die a lot, and especially with the zero situation, it's pretty likely there's gonna be some deaths. Because these endgame bosses are tough. Because we haven't farmed that much for cards, so our deck isn't really all that powerful. But it's like just good enough to be able to do it, basically. Already past world record end time? That's not true, actually. World record ends at 2:15, right? Yeah. I didn't see what that was. I guess you might be looking at the recon leaderboard. 139. $144. Yeah, that is with SDA timing. You've got to actually cut off a minute 50 seconds for the opening cutscene that we're adding to the time today. I think I have around enough, but I'm gonna farm a couple more fights real quick, just to make sure that we don't run out. Three more fights or so. That should be we should be safe at that point. Yeah, I don't know why this game uses SDA timing on the leaderboard. I think it's just because the people who ran it back then were SDA people, so it just stuck that way, basically. I don't like it either, but I deal with it. And I mean, it actually kind of works out for me, because I usually run this game on emulator. Well, always, really. And because of that, they don't actually care if I use emulator speed up for the opening cutscene, because the timing doesn't start till after it anyway. So that kind of works out for me. Alright, one more, and then we're gonna get out of here. We should have plenty now. Oh. Okay, you know what? I'll take it. We're just moving on anyway. I should have plenty. Unless we count it wrong, in which case bad things will happen. Alright, thanks, see you, Noctis. Alright. So let's see, what all do we have? Alright. Is Speed Demos Archive still a used site? Kind of. I'm gonna look at this real quick. Okay, I have 3 red 3s. I need to keep one of these. This is a mistake I've made multiple times in practice runs, of accidentally using that one, and it basically, like, would destroy everything. It would be bad times. Why do I want to hit the barrels? On the off chance that I get a 0 Keyblade card from it or something? I mean, I don't really think that's likely at this point. There's no real other reason to do it. Whoops. Okay. 3. There we go, we learned Judgments, which is a thing that I'm just going to use on this upcoming boss. Let's see, so I need to edit so I can use that. And we should be good for this boss. So this is the first big door where we need to put a bunch of value in order to open it. 5, 6, there we go. Alright, this guy has way too much HP. Also, I should be taking damage here, because we're eventually going to use Berserk. He's got a very set attack pattern, so we just kind of wait for the good attack to roll around. Which is where he punches the ground and like little heartless come out and stuff. He stays like that for a while and we can hit him in the face. Yeah, this fight is a real slugfest. It takes forever. This is also why we got that Judgment Slight. We're going to use that to do the last bit of his HP. You'll see that when we get there. It's going to take a while. Like, we're first running through our 30 overdrive attacks, then we've got our 30 berserk attacks. By that time he should be pretty close to dead. And there we go, now we're in crit. Activate Hades. Hitting the shadow by accident. Easy fight with Simbas. I'm gonna trust you on that. Maybe I should have kept that one pack where I got like 3 Simbas. I can't say I've ever tried it that way. Alright, let's use Judgment. And then use it again. Now he's almost dead. I don't actually know where I am in his attack cycle right now. Alright, we're there. Alright. Now he's gonna do the good move, and we should be able to kill. There we go. He was one hit off. Alright. Alright. So let's see. This time isn't great, but we should be able to come in well under the estimate still, if the end game goes well. But we'll see how it goes. Also, cutscene that we can't skip, because this is where the real stuff begins. The hard bosses start now. I'm gonna edit my deck. Remove those cards I used for Judgment, we don't need them. Add in a Mega Potion so we get another reload of our attack cards. Take out this one and replace it with a bit of a stronger one that we just got, which is Oathkeeper. And then we should be good to go. Wish me luck. He's Riku 4, he's dangerous. Good start so far. That was a tie. Alright, I'm gonna have to risk it here. I'm gonna have to let him hit me into Berserk, because I'm gonna start running out of cards if I don't. I'd rather not do this, because he's probably gonna kill me. Especially if he stun locks me. That Firaga would have probably killed me if it hit. Luckily I timed the dodge well. There we go. Alright, first try. Nice. Alright, that's one down. And now we're gonna go straight into the next one. I'm gonna add the card I just got, which is the Riku card, because it gives me the ability Slight Lock, which lets me go through basically one cycle of my cards without them disappearing. That's just to ensure that we don't run out of cards. Like, they're not getting boosted right now, but they also won't disappear when I reload. Larxene doesn't deal too much damage with her attacks individually, but she is fast and she can combo you to high heaven. So let's see how this goes. It was a good start so far. Actually really good so far. So, Overdrive has run out. I'm not gonna force Berserk yet, because I still have a decent amount of cards, so if she hits me into it, you know, I'll take it. I'm not gonna force it, because it's dangerous to be in Berserk against her. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, good dodge. What even is this combo? We've kind of gone into panic mode, but okay, we did it. Alright. Alright, first try both Riku 4 and Larxene 2. That feels good. That's 2 of the hardest bosses in the game out of the way. We've got only 3 bosses left. And we're in the last world. Oops, why am I going this way? Okay, that's the last red 3 I can use. Don't use anymore. For the love of God, don't use your last red 3. So Axel is the last boss that we're actually gonna use our raids deck on. I have a bunch of cards here. I should be using these. This is where all my low cards are hanging out. This green one. And hopefully we didn't miscount grossly. And I should have enough cards to get through the rest of this. Hope I have enough zeros to keep resetting the card value. Because like I said earlier, it kind of works in like a progressive way where I need to go like, you know, 2, 3, 4, and then I don't really want to use 5s because those are my high ones that I'm like reserving for the big door. Then I go back to 0. It needs 99. Use a 5 here. Use a Joker on it. Follow, please. Alright. So now we gotta edit this raids deck real quick. Switch all the fires with blizzards. I'm actually gonna put this fire at the end here for possible card breaking purposes. Oh, and I should actually, yeah, I should also do that, and I have an extra Rhapsody that might actually be useful here, so I'll put that in as well. Alright, here's where we use the 1 blue, the 3 red, and then 99. Let's see, where are all our high value cards at? Oops. 7, 9, 5. Yeah, we've got plenty of cards. I actually overgrinded a decent bit, it seems. Yeah, okay, should be good to go. I overgrinded more than I thought. Yeah, this kind of speaks for itself. He's weak to Blizzard, not to fire. I just healed him. Good job. I was just trying to break his thing. But a lot of his cards are kind of too high for me to like break when he's using slights. Like, I can't break this. It's too high value. I kind of have to wait for him to do something low enough that I can break it, like so. Nice, that's 5 hits. I can break this. It's like, if I don't break him, he's just gonna teleport out of whatever I'm doing. It seems like it's gonna be a good fight. And dead. Nice. Easy fight. Alright, now we've just gotta go run back up to where I just was, get through 3 more runes, and then we're at the final bosses. Oh, hey. Well, that's not nice. I don't want to take damage before I hit... Hang on. Hang on. I'm actually gonna heal. This isn't gonna actually heal me back to full. I don't really want to take damage before I hit Marluxia, because Marluxia is a damn scary fight as well. We got any zeros left? We do. Can I get some HP orbs? Of course, now I get Moogle points. Just want to make sure I'm full health for this fight. Yeah, you see I have a decent few cards left. If I had, you know, counted everything perfectly, I would exactly run out of cards there. Oh hey, a 0? A 0? A 0? No, a 3. And I ran into another fight. Alright. Not ideal. let's just go to the boss. Alright, so this guy seems to have like a ton of HP, and he does, but he's also just weak to regular attacks, so he takes a ton of damage. Like, we're not even boosting yet, and we're already dealing quite a lot with these. So this guy's slights come out really slowly, so they're easy to dodge. But his scary attack, you already saw him hit me with it once. It's that move where he, like, does that. Yeah, thanks. And, oh wow, that actually hit me. I thought I was low down enough that it wouldn't hit me. I've taken way too much damage way too early into the fight. This ain't good. He's probably gonna kill me. Oh wow, I actually got hit by that. This ain't good. This is all kinds of bad. And, wow, I was too slow. I tried to break it, but I was too slow. Yeah, my PB only has 2 deaths, and they're both to this fight, so, you know, there's that. But honestly, outside of the couple times where I had to retry because I messed up and had the wrong deck, that has been my first death this run, and honestly, I'll take that. Especially with the whole not having zeros, I will gladly take that. You know, if we can avoid further deaths at least. Yeah, sometimes this fight is really easy, and sometimes it's impossible. Like, especially the stupidest thing he can do is break you. Yeah, thanks for showing it off. That is the stupidest thing he can do. Break you with that move. It does absurd amounts of damage, and if he breaks you with it, you can't counter. Like, it's gonna hit you. Again, I'm not gonna bother trying to get into Berserk, because he's almost dead anyway. Alright. Got through that. One more boss left. Three level ups. Good times. Alright. Now I gotta set up a pretty janky deck for the last fight. So let's see, what do we do here again? Take out all of these. I'm actually also gonna take out this. Replace that with a high card. I think that's good enough. Ideally this would also be an 8. Do I have any other really high cards? I really don't, wow. Like, I don't have enough high cards. Alright. I think that this should still work. Okay, so I'm gonna put in Nocturne and Rhapsody. Yes. Oh yeah, and potions. I'm kind of forgetting what to do here. There we go. And then swap these orders. And I'm gonna make room for raids. This is the only fight where we use kind of a hybrid deck. Are they all good enough value? Yeah, okay. We should be good. So we're going to use the raids to take out his little sides that you have to take out at the start of the battle, and then once those are all gone, then we just have the attack deck to take out his actual HP bar. Let's see. This fight doesn't really have like ways it can really screw with you. He's got a very like set attack pattern, so I just need to execute it right. Although, I could potentially get kind of screwed with the fact that I have that 7 at the start. Usually I just use 3 zeros or like 8s or whatever. Because I'm going to use those to try to break his cards and then make him vulnerable later. But the 7 might not be able to break him if he uses an 8. Because that's the highest card he can use. So I might get a little bit screwed on that. Let's just hope that doesn't happen, basically. Now, I'm going to try to take some damage. We're going to use Berserk again later. I'll activate Overdrive now. Get in a quick cheeky combo. Reload. And now we're gonna do damage on him. You're supposed to like get on his back there, but like the wind tries to push you off and it's kind of a nightmare. So this is actually the easiest way to damage him. Break his card that briefly makes him vulnerable, and then get in a combo. Potion. Alright, and time is coming up soon. I should kill here. scroll through all my friend cards. Time. Alright. All things considered, that was pretty decent. The RNG was really rough early on. We had, we didn't get a lot of great cards early on. And it looked like the one blue might screw me for a while, but we ended up getting that, and you know, we eventually ended up getting pretty much everything we needed. And we didn't have a lot of endgame death. We had one death to Merlucia 1. There were a couple times where I had to retry a boss because I messed up and had the wrong deck. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with that. Time could be better, but a lot of that is just kind of bad RNG. Also, like the Moogle shop took a while, trying to get enough magics. Oh yeah, if we'd ran with Simba, it's sub 2 hours easy, but you know, can't always get what you want. So thanks to everyone for watching. I'm gonna actually really quick skip this so you can watch the nice GBA FMV. There you go. I should have looked this up in advance. What is actually the next run? Because I forgot. Next up is Dot Hack Infection. Alright. By Sinri. That's gonna be the run next up. So yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. I had fun. I hope you did too. Have a good night and enjoy the rest of the marathon. I'm out.